With the last big patch, medium light fishing has become extremely interesting, especially medium light baitcast fishing. So, there are new possibilities for medium light baitcast fishing. We now have the option of using up to a 5,000 size reel on medium light rods. But of course that also means we've got the problem that a 5,000 size round profile reel has a really bad casting weight, a casting weight that's absolutely not suitable for medium light fishing. And that's where it gets really interesting, because we can modify and upgrade these reels step by step. Now, it only really becomes interesting when we want to use reels that have enough drag power. With the smaller reels in the first row here, upgrading them isn't really worth it because the drag power is just incredibly low. In that case, you might as well use a low profile reel right away. Starting from the Billionaire, that's when it starts to get interesting. And we can jump right in now. So I've already bought the reel here for about $2,300. And here we can see the Billionaire reel, and we can already see everything we can change. Starting with the gear. Here, though, we don't really have a big alternative. We could use the gear from the Billionaire 60, which probably has a bit more load capacity. That might be slightly better in terms of wear, but in this case, it's not necessary. Next, we can swap out the ball bearing, and that's when things get going. That already changes the casting weight, which in the original is at 12 grams. There are several ball bearings you can choose from, but I mostly use the simple Staving Storm ball bearing. That's absolutely enough, very affordable, and it still gives the best casting weight values. We can also slightly increase the drag strength of the Billionaire, and that brings us up to 12.6 kilograms of drag power. Yeah, and the most important part is of course changing the spool. We're now using a significantly smaller spool, which gets us to a really great casting weight of just 3.4 grams. On top of that, of course, we can also change the oil. I personally like to use the Stab Reactive oil. That's really good, especially for high-speed spools. Although with this reel, we might not be talking about a true high-speed spool just yet, but thanks to the smaller spool, we are already running noticeably faster. You can also just keep using the original oil for a long time until about 30% wear, and then switch to a higher quality oil. All in all, the Billionaire is really solid in terms of price performance. We're at $2,300 silver for the base reel, plus $2,600 silver if we upgrade the whole thing. After the upgrade, we've got a really good reel, which we can actually use really well for medium fishing. We've got excellent casting weight, we've got sufficient drag strength, and a really solid gear ratio. And one of the most important things, we've still got a decent line capacity. For all reels after this, we always compare based on the 0.32 millimeter value. So here, for example, we've got 128 meters of 0.32 millimeter, and if we take one of the slightly cheaper lines, also 0.32 millimeter thick, we're looking at about 21 kilograms of breaking strain. So that's already well above the reel's drag power. In theory, we could even go one size down to get more line on the spool. We could also easily use a 0.26 millimeter line. That gives us 15.6 kilograms of breaking strain, and even that is more than enough for the 12.6 kilograms drag. Especially in the medium range, you're often fishing with fluorocarbon leaders between 9 and 12 kilograms, so even that's absolutely enough. All in all, I've got to say, the Billionaire really is a solid option to get started with medium light at a decent price. Also, in terms of reel quality, this one's rated 4 stars. The next reels also have 4 to 4.5 stars, so definitely a solid way to take your first steps into medium light fishing with this reel. The next 5,000 size reel is the Steelhead, but sadly, we can't modify the Steelhead. That means yes, we can upgrade a few components, but the crucial part, the spool itself, we can't change that. So we're stuck with a casting weight that's too high, which means the Steelhead is out. Another option would be the Simon ZM3. This one costs just under 3,000 silver, and we'll send it straight to the workshop. The Simon ZM350 already has really solid base stats, but we still want to use this reel for medium light fishing, which means we need to lower the 11.5 casting weight. We can also significantly improve the gear by using the gear from the Simon ZM4 Z48. That gets us to a gear ratio of 7.1, so a really fast reel. Again, I use the red ball bearing, which instantly lowers the casting weight. For the drag, we can upgrade from 12.7 to 14 kilograms. And again, the real fun starts when we get to the spool. And of course, the right oil can't be forgotten either. So now the ZM350 is fully tuned. Gear ratio 7.1, 14 kilograms drag, casting weight down to 3.2 grams, and 119 meters of line capacity. The next reel we can upgrade is from the Simon ZM4 series. And once again, we're talking about the 50 model. This one costs 4,600 silver, but again, we can change everything on it. So, all the options are open. And the base stats are already pretty solid. 6.3 gear ratio, 15 kilograms drag, and casting weight starting at 10.5 grams. For the gear, again, we picked the Z48. Use the red bearing, of course, and slightly bump up the drag again. As always, it really gets interesting with the spool. And we don't forget the oil either. So the ZM4 is now fully upgraded. 7.11 gear ratio, super fast, 15 kilograms drag, 3.2 gram casting weight, and again, 119 meters of line capacity. It cost us 4,600 silver to buy and 2,500 silver to upgrade. So we're looking at a total of 7,100 silver for the fully upgraded ZM4. Now, the next reels are ruled out because we can only use reels up to size 5,000. So all the ones after that are out, which brings us to another Simon, the Steelness. The 50 Steelness costs 7,800 silver. Not exactly cheap, but it already gives us 17 kilograms of drag. Let's take a look at this one in the workshop. We can't change the gear here, only the ball bearing. And again, I go straight for the red one. We can also raise the drag a bit more to 18 kilograms. And again, the fun part, the spool. And of course, the matching oil. And we're done. All the components that can be upgraded are upgraded. That cost us 2,600 silver, so the full overhaul comes to about 10,400 silver. The gear ratio is already quite decent. We've got a 6.8 ratio, really good for spinning. 18 kilograms drag, 3.2 grams casting weight, really solid, and once again, 119 mitts line capacity. All right, let's move on down the line of reels, and that takes us to the next and last 5,000 size reel. This one's the Minister NGT50. With this reel, we can't change the gear either, so we start right away with the ball bearing. By using the bearing, we lower the casting weight by exactly 1 gram. Next, we can slightly raise the drag to 19.9 kilograms. And of course, the key parts again, spool and oil. And that gives us a very high-end reel. 4.5 stars in the base version, upgraded with various components. So we've got a 5.3 gear ratio, that's relatively slow, 19.9 kilograms of drag, and again, a fantastic casting weight of 3.2 gram and 119 meters of line capacity. Now, of course, you could optimize it even more. Get the casting weight down by a few more grams. If you use gold components, that means if we use the special bearing that you can only buy for gold, the casting weight drops even further. But we're in the medium light range here, so a casting weight of 3J is already really good. And most of the time, we can't even fully use the drag strength of these reels, because to do that, we'd need line that has even higher braking strength. And those are so thick, we can barely fit any meters onto the reel. And no one really wants to fish with just 50 meters of line on their reel. A few weeks ago, I upgraded my Steelness. And here too, I've got 119 meters of 0.32 millimeter line on it. If I use a line with about 15 kilos braking strain, I still have 150 meters of line on the reel. That's a really decent amount. Having between 150 and 200 meters of line makes fishing way more relaxed. So, get going with your medium setup. If this helped you, drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, that helps me a ton, and we'll see each other in the next video. Tight lines.